We are getting ready for Game 6 here. We are oh so ready for this one. Let's welcome in NBA champ Rip Hamilton. Rip, when you guys beat the Lakers for the title, you actually got to be back at home in Detroit for Game 5. So I know you know what it is like for this Bucks team tonight. If they win, it would be their second title in franchise history. So talk to me about their mentality heading into this game and what they need to do to win.
Yeah, man. And this is probably the most exciting time if you got a chance to actually close a team, especially in the NBA Finals. But you can't get caught up in the hype. You can't get caught up with everybody saying that, hey, you're going to win the world championship. You got to know that, hey, this team, the Phoenix Suns, they're going to have no quit in them. And it starts with Chris Paul and Devin Booker. These guys do an excellent job of leading their team, especially all playoffs long. But the Milwaukee Bucks, they got to take care of business at home, and they've been doing that all season long, especially in the playoffs. And it starts with their MVP, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's a guy that never takes any plays off. We know he's going to bring the energy, but for them, they got to play together as a group, and they got to come out and play fast.
All right, let's talk about Jrue Holiday here, taking a look kind of like at his stats there over the past couple of games. So Game 4, he actually was just 4 for 20 from the field. Game 5, completely different story. What is the massive impact that he has and that he needs to have for this team?
Well, man, and the reason why they got him and brought him here to Milwaukee is because he's able to play both sides of the ball. And yes, sometimes you can see that, hey, he's not aggressive that we want him to be, just on the simple fact that he got Giannis Antetokounmpo out there and Chris Middleton, and he's always doing a great job of really trying to set them guys up. Now he's playing both sides of the ball. He's not just scoring, but he's also defending. And I think what's happening is his size is really wearing Chris Paul down. Now he's figuring it out. He's knowing that, hey, okay, you know what? In order for us to be really, really great, I got to push the ball. We have to play in transition. When this team struggles, it's in a half-court offense. And a lot of that is because Jrue Holiday does a great job pressuring his ball, getting into the pass lane, getting steals, and getting easy opportunities for this Milwaukee Bucks team.
All right, let's go to the other side, Rip, here. Let's talk about the Suns. They have to win this. There's nothing else. You have to win tonight. And when the series started, you know, you talked to us a lot about how this was for Chris Paul. These guys were paying for Chris Paul. 16 years in the league, his first finals. But when it comes to his performance, games 1 and 2, great, averaging 27.5 points per game. Games 3 through 5, he's averaging just 16.7 points. So if you're Chris Paul, I mean, how do you turn it around tonight?
First of all, I hope Chris Paul just stayed off his legs. I think that's the biggest thing. Hey, stay in the training room, get treatment, a lot of ice, a lot of rest, making sure that you eat all the right foods because, hey, yes, as the playoffs go along, and I experienced it myself. I remember playing against the San Antonio Spurs in the playoffs, and we were going into a Game 7. And I looked at Chauncey Billups in front of me, and I said, Chauncey, I'm exhausted. I'm tired. Like, I'm happy that this is the last game because I don't know if I can play another game just on the simple fact on how many minutes that we have played so far in this playoffs. So now you look at Chris Paul, who's 36 years old, a guy that's played a lot of minutes on the floor. And now you got a guy like Jrue Holiday just guarding the whole entire court. Yes, I feel as though that he's kind of wearing down a little bit. And yes, I do think that he might have a little knick-knack injury that he won't talk about and we're not talking about. So I think if you're Phoenix Suns and Monty Williams, look to have another guy on the floor that can bring up the ball just to take some pressure off Chris Paul and let him manage the game in the half-court offense. Because right now I think he's wearing down. I think that, hey, yes, he's been playing great all playoff long, especially in the first 2 playoff games. But I just think that, hey, you know what, you got to find different ways to get Chris Paul rest so that he can be 100% and give his all, especially in the fourth quarter.
Just relaxing right now. That's all he needs to do. A little zen moment there. All right, let's talk about his teammate who should have a little bit more energy. He's just 24 years old. Devin Booker has been absolutely phenomenal this entire postseason. He is averaging 41 points per game in his last 2 starts. So the Suns, they've been running this offense, though, through him. Do they keep that plan tonight?
Yes, man, you can't change now. I mean, role players know that they're role players. You can't make a role player and put him in a superstar position and start running plays for him, especially in the Game 6 of the NBA Finals. I just think that, hey, you know what, a lot of Devin Booker's game is he's really elevated it in this series. I mean, back-to-back 40-point games. He's getting anywhere he wants to on the floor. in getting his shot off. Yes, he's taking advantage of mismatches. I thought the Milwaukee Bucks did a great job of really now playing Giannis at the 5, getting Brook Lopez off the floor as much as possible. But he has to stay aggressive. He has to lead. Maybe it's not a 40-point game. Maybe it's a 50-point game. Maybe it's that, hey, you know what? He got to go out and get 10 assists. But I don't think that they need to change their offensive sets. This team has been dependent on Devin Booker and Chris Paul all season long, and you got to depend on them at least for the next 2 games if they can get out of this game.
Rip, it is going to be loud. It is going to be oh so loud there. The Bucks fans, they have been chanting Bucks in 6. They have the chance to do it tonight. I don't know if you're going to change your opinion of what's going to happen. The Bucks are favored by 5 at home. You're already laughing. The over-under is 222. Rip Hamilton, what is your pick for the game tonight?
Hey, Amanda, I talked to one of my former teammates yesterday, and they say, hey, are you still on that Phoenix Suns bandwagon? And I said, you know what, Amanda, if I'm honest with myself, I think the tides has turned. This Milwaukee Bucks team is really come out with the aggressiveness and the will to win that we expected them to come out and play with all playoff long. And when you got all three of your star players clicking on all cylinders and understands the moment, I really think that they understand the moment right now. And they don't want to go back to Phoenix. They know that they got to take care of business at home. So I got to switch up, Amanda. I'm going with the Milwaukee Bucks.
We got to give you credit for that, Rip. I mean, that is hard to do. It takes a lot of effort there. Maybe you're making the right pick. I know the Bucks, as we mentioned, they're favored by 5. Everybody's on the bandwagon there. It'll be exciting nonetheless. Rip Hamilton, thank you so much for joining us here on CBS Sports HQ. So Rip saying the tide has turned. He is no longer going with the Suns to win the series. He's going with the Bucks to take it all tonight in Game 6. If he is wrong, if a lot of people are wrong, if the Suns do manage to go ahead and win Game 6 tonight, Game 7, as Rick mentioned, that's going to be back in Phoenix. It would be Thursday. Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.